how India has deepened its ties with Turkey. The Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has arrived in New Delhi on Sunday evening, and he is going to be holding a wide-ranging talks with Prime Minister Modi on key bilateral and regional issues, including India's nuclear suppliers group membership bid and ways to strengthen cooperation in counter-terrorism and trade between the two countries. This is Erdogan's first foreign visit after winning a controversial referendum on the 16th of April that further consolidated his executive powers. Apart from his wife, Emin Erdogan, the Turkish president is accompanied by senior cabinet ministers and a 150-member business delegation that will be taking part in the meetings of the India-Turkey Business Forum. Well, let me go across to Geeta Mohan, who's joining us with the very latest on this, our Foreign Affairs editor. Well, Geeta, what's going to be the impact of Erdogan's visit on Turkey's relationship with India? It already has been improving strategically. Is it now going to be a viable long-term ally for India?
When we spoke to the senior advisor on foreign policy to the Turkish president, İlknur Çevik, he very clearly said that this is the beginning of a new relationship between India and Turkey. There was hardly any when it came to Turkey, given the kind of differences India has with the way Turkey calls its own strategic relations with various countries more important. And Pakistan certainly is an ally and an important partner for Turkey. And Turkey has not, it is not a hidden secret. So while India is engaging Turkey, India is also looking at a strategic cooperation with Turkey to leverage herself in that entire space. And the big takeaways from this meeting today are going to be a defense cooperation agreement that is likely between India and Turkey. This would be a framework agreement that would be signed in all likelihood between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Erdogan. And in that, we are looking at how both the countries are going to cooperate in the defense sector. What we're given to understand and what we've been told is that Turkey's pitch is going to be to sell India armed drones, while India's manufactured ammunition is something that Turkey would really want. There are various other areas: science and technology, innovation, business partnership. A huge business delegation coming with President Erdogan is the reason why we're seeing a lot of engagement that will take place today. But there is going to be one sticky area for Turkey, and that's going to be Fethullah Gulen and his organizations or schools here in India that they think are absolutely anti-Turkey, and hence the entire swap or pitch for India to do away with Fethullah Gulen's organizations and schools over here, and India can then Turkey can look at India's membership bid at the NSG. But a very clear statement coming from Turkey also on NSG that if they're not going to look at criteria base, they're going to be very clear.
Well, also, what has been very disturbing, right ahead of his visit to India, Geeta, Erdogan has come out and said that perhaps there ought to be a multilateral discussion on the Kashmir issue. Now, we all know Turkey's close ties with Pakistan. What's going to be Turkey's stand on Jammu and Kashmir then?
Well, India has always maintained that it's a bilateral issue, but what is changed this time around is that, again, the senior advisor who spoke to us very clearly said that it's a bilateral issue and has to be resolved bilaterally. There isn't, and Turkey would not want to be pulled into this entire dynamics between India and Pakistan. She would like to maintain friendship with Pakistan as also a strategic relationship with India as well. And very clearly has spelled out that it's a bilateral issue. To a question that I posed on OIC and how Turkey has gone out and supported Pak-based resolution in Jammu and Kashmir always in the past, they said that those resolutions in international forums don't mean anything. That India also went ahead and supported Cyprus against Turkey in the non-aligned movement. So an example versus example is what we got as a response. It just goes to show that right now what Turkey would want to do is keep Kashmir out of the realm of India-Turkey talks and say that it's a bilateral issue and Pakistan and India would have to handle it bilaterally, although we do know that Turkey does support and side with Pakistan on the issue of so-called human rights violations in the region.
Well, absolutely. Turkey has been a long-term ally of Pakistan. How is that going to be effective on their take on Kashmir? Well, we'll wait and see. Perhaps it's going to be given a complete miss when the Turkish Prime Minister meets us. We leave it there. Thanks so much, Geeta, for joining us. Well, considering we are talking about Erdogan's visit, well, he is all set to back India's NSG membership, however, and that's going to be a huge takeaway. Well, the ties between India and Turkey are strong, and they've been conveyed by senior advisor to the Turkish President Erdogan. In fact, analysts maintain that recently there has been a change in Turkey's tone over the issue of NSG, as a strong economic relationship with India are in favor of Ankara, which is opening up its economy and needs investments in the infrastructure. Well, earlier Turkey wanted a criteria-based approach. Now, with Erdogan's visit, Turkey is expected to give its unconditional support to India's NSG bid. Well, last year, remember, following a failed military coup, Turkey had urged India to root out the presence of Fethullah Gulen's supporters and sympathizers in India. Well, as Ankara held the US-based Turkish preacher Muhammad Fethullah responsible for this coup. Well, it remains to be seen what really transpires during the India-Turkey talks today, especially with a close eye on the NSG.
Taking it forward is to establish economic relations, strong economic relations. Economic relations usually solve a lot of the political problems as well, and through there we build up stronger political relations. Meanwhile, we also try to build up people-to-people relationship. The people of India have always been very close to us. They have helped us out during the War of Independence. It was the Muslims of India, but we regard them as the people of India.
Our pragmatic measure has been taken by Erdogan to show that the issue between India and Pakistan regarding Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, should be solved bilaterally. And there will be always a stress on the international UN Security Council resolution on this, in this regard. Therefore, it is just a matter to show that the appeasement to the Indian administration that the new Erdogan of Turkey is more pragmatic and looking East policy, looking for a good relation with India, and he is fairly doing well in that direction.
Well, we'll keep a close eye on Erdogan's visit to India, but for